How's it now? It's too bright. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
May we start the proceedings by observing a moment of silent reflection or prayer to bless this occasion. Thank you. You may be seated. Dumelang, goeiemiddag, good afternoon, distinguished guests, and welcome colleagues who are joining virtually. I'm Professor Frida van der Walt, and it is my pleasure to be your program director this afternoon at this memorable event in the history of our university and country. Today we celebrate the inauguration of our new Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Pamela Dube. I'm reminded by the wisdom that joy chooses you. You cannot invite joy. You can only be ready when joy appears. And today, joy has certainly appeared at this beautiful event. On that note, Chancellor, I have the honor to invite you to constitute the congregation.
By the powers vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby constitute this congregation of the Central University of Technology Free State to inaugurate the Vice-Chancellor and Principal who will serve the university for the next 5 years.
I would now like to call upon Madam Chancellor to give a brief welcome address.
To the German Ambassador, Honorable Andreas Peschke, watching the proceedings online, Deputy Judge President, Justice Nobulao Mbele, MEC for Education, Dr. Tate Makwe, Director General of the Department of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Nkosinathi Sishi, Archbishop Thabo Makhuba, Chairperson of Council in absentia, Councillor Matthew Rantsu, Deputy Chair of Council, Councillor Charity Mbileni Morema, members of the CUT Council present, rectors and vice-chancellors of universities and TVET colleges present, registrars, Umalusi CEO Dr. Mafu Rakometsi, SABC Group CEO Mr. Madoda Mpakwe, CUT's executive team and management, all statutory bodies of the university, SRC presidents of Bloemfontein and Welkom campuses, Nehau and Ndeu chairpersons, personal guests of Professor Dube, CUT partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I offer my most cordial greetings to you and to those watching from the comfort of your homes. On behalf of the Central University of Technology Free State, I welcome you all to this historic moment, the investiture of our new Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Pamela Dube. I further wish to extend a warm hand of friendship to the German Ambassador, Honorable Andreas Peschke, Professor Christian Thompson, and Petra Vogel from the University of Siegen, and Prof. Tyrone Pretorius, whom we have the honor to host virtually this afternoon in the context of their important association with Professor Pamela Dube. I'm sure that her association with the University of Siegen will be instrumental in driving a sustainable partnership that will strengthen our current university, partner development initiatives, and explore new opportunities on the international front. I must also record our appreciation to Dr. Tate Makwe, a university patron, and school principals for being with us. Honorable MEC, it is always great to have you and the principals in our midst as our schools contribute significantly to our existence. To our partners from business, industry, and government, we value your presence and your support. Thank you for your participation and for taking the time to be with us. We anticipate many more fruitful years of collaboration that will help us to maximize stronger partnerships within the region. Distinguished guests, the inauguration of the Vice-Chancellor of a university is always a special moment to the university stakeholders and the community it serves. And the installation of Professor Pamela Dube is no exception. We are honored to have you as we make history by inaugurating the university's very first woman Vice-Chancellor and Principal based on principles of excellence and equity. For the university, it is an opportunity to introduce her to the university, the community, the higher education sector, Free State Province, South Africa, and the international world. Since commencing her term at the beginning of 2023, Professor Dube has hit the ground running, spending time acquainting herself with the CUT community and engaging with relevant stakeholders as she works towards building on the strength and excellence in the core business of teaching and learning, research, innovation, and community engagement. I cannot claim that I know her much, but I've had the privilege of meeting with her over a cup of coffee, an opportunity to listen to her and get to know her passion and the love for academia. Through Professor Dube's appointment, the university demonstrates its long-held commitment to excellence, equity, and diversity. Given her years of dedication to academia, Professor Dube is the right person equipped to lead the university to its academic excellence. Furthermore, her determination to uplift women and empower them to succeed, and her passion for student leadership development will undoubtedly inspire us to become a leading university of technology in Africa. I'm truly delighted that our university now has a female Vice-Chancellor and Rector. More than that, I am delighted to have you, Professor Dube, as a sister who will be steering our ship in the right direction. Somehow the adjective delighted seems like an understatement. The word that more precisely describes how I personally feel is overjoyed. I'm overjoyed that you have broken that glass ceiling. What remains is for us as a collective to ensure that the glass pieces that come tumbling down do not harm you in any way. I have been showered with love and warmth on every single occasion I've been at the university campus and during all interactions with the members of council, academia, and support personnel and the broader CUT community. Based on this, I can assure you, VC, that in accepting to be the operational head of this institution, you chose well, and you are in good hands. Speaking for myself, you can count on my support. And I know I speak on behalf of everyone else when I say we are excited that you are our institution's first female Vice-Chancellor and Principal, and we formally welcome you as part of the CUT family. The sisterhood is grateful to gain another sister, another competent sister. Welcome aboard. Onward and upward, my dear sister. As Professor Pamela Dube takes on this momentous task, she has our support, and she will always have our unwavering support. She will carry on where we have been doing well to drive our academic projects and Vision 2030 to become a leading university of technology in Africa through innovation. In closing, I, on behalf of this university, welcome you all to this extraordinary academic occasion as we begin to induct Professor Dube into the role that will lead us into the future. I thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor. We shall now proceed with the inauguration and investiture of the Vice-Chancellor. On that note, I invite the Deputy Chairperson of Council, Councillor Dr. Charity Mbeleni Morema, to introduce the Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Pamela Dube, to the congregation and those watching the proceedings virtually.
Madam Chancellor and distinguished guests, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Pamela Dube. The University Council appointed her in terms of the amended statutes 2017 of the Central University of Technology, Free State, following a series of consultations with statutory bodies of the university. Professor Dube's humble beginnings started at Kwa Makuta, a small township south of Durban in KwaZulu-Natal, where she completed her primary school. She then went on to Inanda Seminary, one of the heritage missionary boarding schools which since 1869 has instilled in the black women it has educated to go out into the world and exemplify the school's motto, which is shine where you are. Before joining CUT, Professor Dube held the executive leadership role of Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Student Development and Support at the University of the Western Cape, UWC, where she was responsible for a transformative student experience, student well-being, and academic success. She has had a versatile career stretching from lecturer and researcher at the University of Siegen in Germany, lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Pietermaritzburg, guest lecturer at the Kathmandu University in Nepal, Dean of Student Affairs at the University of Witwatersrand, WIT, to Director and Acting Chief Director at the National Department of Education and Head of International Relations and Human Resources Development at the South African Nuclear Energy Corporation. She was also the Special Advisor to the Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the University of Johannesburg, UJ, where she later headed the Human Resources Division as Executive Director. A graduate of the University of Siegen in Germany and the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Professor Dube is an accomplished international leader in academia, having attained numerous qualifications from national and international universities. She holds a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Arts honors degree from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and a Master of Arts and a PhD from the University of Siegen in Germany. She has lived and worked in Germany after completing her doctoral degree. Professor Dube's PhD, which was in interdisciplinary studies, focused on English post-colonial literature, orality and the new media, intersectionality and gender issues, and communication and cultural studies. Remarkably, her PhD was published as a book in 1997. She currently serves on the editorial board of Resonance, the Journal of Sound and Culture, and has personally published in international peer-reviewed publications. Her love for education and learning has kept her on the continuous professional development path. She has added several high-level management qualifications, including a program in management development from UCT Business School, the Harris Mid-America Women in Higher Education Administration program from Bryan Moore in Pennsylvania, Oxford Strategic Leadership program from the SAID Business School, that is Oxford University. She served on a number of national and international boards for higher education and training, and co-chairs the Association of Commonwealth Universities, Higher Education, and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs Network Steering Committee. In addition to her substantive experience at the executive level, Professor Dube has initiated effective partnerships and relationship-building approaches with academia, government, key industry, and business role players. For example, she has initiated projects focused on student employability, data analytics for improved throughput rates and student support, food security, and a project to challenge gender stereotypes focused on reconciling gender identity, gender-based violence, GBV, and masculinity dialogues. Professor Pamela Dube brings an extraordinary tapestry of talents, knowledge, a wealth of experience, and passion for working with students, who shall remain the #1 priority at the Central University of Technology. In echoing Professor Dube's high school motto, which says, "Shine wherever you are," I invite you, the congregation, to join me when I say, "Shine, Professor Dube, shine," by saying, "Shine. Shine, Professor Dube, shine." Alala Mbogodo, alala. Shine, Professor Dube, shine. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of Council of the University, it is my utmost pleasure and honor to welcome Professor Pamela Zibuile Dube to our own Central University of Technology. I thank you. I now call upon the Registrar, Dr. Sally Zingwa, to come forward and invest you, Professor Pamela Dube, with the Vice-Chancellor and Principal's robe to signify the inauguration and also acceptance of office.
My sister. Is it all right? Are you sure? Is it okay? Professor Pamela Dube, I request you to take the affirmation of office.
I, Pamela Dube, I do solemnly declare to do, to the best of my ability, discharge all obligations and duties of the office of the Vice-Chancellor and Principal under the statute of the Central University of Technology, Free State, and all applicable legislation.
Professor Dube, we are excited to hear about the vision you have for CUT, and therefore I would like to ask you, Vice-Chancellor, to address the congregation.
Madam Chancellor, Justice Molomela, Chair of Council and the members of the CUT Council, Director General of the Department of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Nkosinathi Sishi, MEC for Education in the Free State, Dr. Tate Mache, Deputy Judge President of the Free State Division of the High Court, Justice Mbele, Rectors and Vice-Chancellors of universities and TVET colleges that are here present, the Chairperson of USAF, Professor Mutwa, Chancellor of the University of the Western Cape, Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, Chief Executive Officer of Fumalusi, Dr. Rahometsi, SABC Group CEO, Mr. Madoda Mxakwe, the Honorable Ambassador to Germany, Andreas Paschke, the University of Siegen, Germany representatives, CUT's executive team and management, executive leadership and management of all universities represented here today, all statutory bodies of the university, SRC presidents of Bloemfontein and Velkom campuses, and your leadership teams, chairpersons of Nehau and Nteu, all CUT partners, and all CUT staff, students, alumni, here or on the virtual platform, my family and dear friends, all distinguished guests present here today and on the virtual platform. The title for my inaugural lecture today is The Question of Technology and the Human at a University of Technology. Madam Chancellor, I'm eternally grateful to this institution, the Central University of Technology, Free State, for placing its trust in me to lead in the coming years. More crucially, I'm indebted to Council, the staff, students, and the whole university community for the faith placed in me, in selecting me for my leadership, and selecting me a humanist who had the humbling opportunity to study in both South Africa and Germany, but who, I assure you, understands the importance of relating technology to the human condition. It is indeed hardly ever to believe how dramatically the world has changed since we in South Africa came into our post-apartheid freedom in the early 1990s. Sometimes it seems that events have overtaken us with unprecedented speed and intensity, leaving all of us with little room to catch our breath. Add to this the devastating sense of anxiety caused by a global pandemic and a climate crisis that threatens our taken-for-granted ways of life as a species, and you have a heady mix of demands that pressure the delivery of higher education. And in our own country, the pressure is increased by the demands to feed, to clothe, and house millions in the midst of an energy crisis that weighs heavily on the conscience of our national efforts to build on the foundations of freedom established in 1994. Public higher education in our country is increasingly under siege by violent threats to the academy and its leadership, by acts of corruption and disregard for institutional integrity, by instances of dysfunctional governance structures, challenges of student funding, gender-based violence, mental health issues, and slow pace of meaningful transformation, among others. You will no doubt wonder why an inaugural lecture by a Vice-Chancellor of an important institution such as ours should begin by marking the pervasive uncertainties of our time. My response, while simple, nevertheless relates to the complex ways in which we are being called upon in our global conjuncture to realign the fate of the human to the ever-expanding resources of technology. Never in the history of this country, and indeed the planet, have we required the university to attend to the question of technology as fervently as we do now. It is a profoundly distinct moment, one that calls on institutions such as ours to address the unprecedented expansion of technological resources in the world. The rapid expansion of technical instrumentalities of digital communication has fundamentally altered the relationship between the human and question of technology. The present represents an unexpectedly rapid drift away from this familiar form of the co-evolution of the human and technology towards a future more sinister, uncertain, and precarious. Notwithstanding this dire circumstance, I want to believe that there is little that could reawaken the sensibilities of our universities of technology, in particular, than this global predicament with which we are henceforth destined to become increasingly acquainted. In keeping with this hopeful tone, allow me to begin by offering a more affirming statement about how we might face this uncertain future, rather than belabor the point about seemingly unending sense of a world in perpetual crisis. Rather than fear the effects of the technical system that now dominates our consciousness, we should recall that the human, in its deep historical emergence over thousands of years, has always co-evolved in tandem with stages of technological development and innovation. Concepts like 4IR, if you connect that with those debates and activities, you are constantly reminded of how this 4IR phenomenon is not an event, but part of fast-paced progress on processes that precede this period. Our conditions as a species reflect attitudes and predispositions inherited from previous epochs, even as they provoke thoughts about how knowledge about science might lead us to new discoveries in the meandering journey that is life. If there be any doubt about the study of technology as a theme deserving of dedicated attention in higher education, we must note that there has never been an instance of human development or human catastrophe that has not been affected by the inventions of the spheres of instrumentalities and machinic intensities. The use of tools has effectively distinguished us from other living beings of the animal world. This we know all too well. However, we are not always ready to deal with the planetary consequences of what has resulted from the tools with which we carved out our life from the natural world. Today, we speak about the planetary crisis of climate change being brought about by human interventions in nature that place us in the unenviable midst of what scientists and humanists agree is an era that we can call the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene, as you know all too well, is a period in our evolution that is identifiable as a new geological state when the human, for the first time, in deep time, is responsible for fundamentally altering the planetary conditions of life. And not to make too fine a point, this alteration of planetary existence has been significantly aided and abetted by the developments and inventions in technology, especially 2 centuries of industrial production and its waste products. We know, for example, that the 19th century scientific revolution, second law of thermodynamics, helped to redirect anthropic sources of energy towards the end of capitalist production. What followed was a rapid transformation of the world. The global shifts from feudalism to slavery to industrial production in the 19th century that brought about the colonization of Africa, Asia, and Latin America was enacted through the revolutions in thermodynamics, particularly the violation of the second law that brought anthropic and disorderly forms of energy into ordered control. In the 20th century, a revolution in communication technologies fundamentally altered the global conditions of racial and ethnic subjection, leading to an imperialist grab of elementary and primary materials such as gold and diamonds that propelled humanity into a devastating First World War. But we would be remiss not to acknowledge that the circumstances of a world war also gave rise to a generation of thinkers of the Black Atlantic who recognized that the quest for freedom was being set back even further for those who found themselves on the wrong side of the history of Atlantic slavery. The convergence of a new racial order after World War I and industrialization provided the ferment for intellectuals such as Sol Plaatje, Charlotte Maxeke, Dr. Abdurrahman Mohandas Gandhi, and Silas Molema, amongst who emerged in South Africa in the early 1900s. They were inspired by the proliferation of communication technologies to write against what they saw as the dwindling fortunes of freedom, gambled away since the days of slavery on the expediencies of race war and the greed of modern forms of empire. More recently, with the rise of apartheid in South Africa in 1948, we have seen a model of technological revolution in automated machines through the science of cybernetics that resulted in a devastating racial and ethnic experiment in population control from which we are still seeking to emerge. These shifts, and in the co-evolution of human and technology that produced a specific form of racial modernity in South Africa, is part of a large debate in South African higher education. It includes a broad spectrum of academics and students who have made a notable contribution to the debate about higher education transformation. A good example of where this debate is taking place is in the forum called Critical University Studies in South Africa. I have also benefited from my former colleagues at UWC's Center for Humanities Research who have been at the forefront of foregrounding the encounters between mainstream critical theory and various traditions of critique emerging from other historical legacies, seeking to advance the multiple forms that critical thought takes and engages with the pressing issues of our times. This is where the question of what the university is for is being most acutely posed and engaged. Based on accounts of the everyday violence that apartheid introduced to drive its machinery, we learn how a modernization of the idea of race was premised on a shift from one technical system to another. If we fail to account for technology in this history of race, we risk repeating the past. What we face is the return of more virulent forms of racism that would put paid to our desire for post-apartheid freedom. It is against this backdrop that I want to direct my inaugural question to the argument that never before in our history has the importance of the University of Technology been so indispensable to the human condition, not to mention the future of South Africa and the continent more generally. We have, as a specifically designated University of Technology, been tasked with both the process of inventing the instruments of our survival and prosperity, and also the means of holding the human condition in view. Nothing could be more demanding in an age when we face a new future of automated machines, which have given rise to new possibilities of human endurance and produced its own share of uncertainty. In South Africa, we need to take heed of this special responsibility, in part because the past of apartheid was a source of alienation from the technological means of production for millions. For the workers of our country and for the oppressed more generally, technology conjured images of hardship as well as unfreedom. When we say that apartheid was a technology of power, we are referring both to the way it alienated and dominated millions in the country. Allow me to identify 4 educational priorities that I see for a University of Technology. I hope these do not sound too prescriptive. However, they do provide the foundational pillars for debate and discussion amongst the faculty, council, students, and professional staff and workers of this institution. Our first responsibility as a university is to undertake a reappraisal of the meaning of technology in the broader population, to demystify its force while bending its potential to the ideal of post-apartheid freedom. This, we will soon realize, is easier said than done. It will require an education that reaches beyond the confines of our institution, one that is oriented to a nascent public sphere. More than simply talking about the use of technology, we will be asked to educate our people on how technology should be approached to make judgments necessary for a thriving civic life. CUT will have to become a public-facing institution that builds confidence in the attitudes towards technological resources. Our second responsibility is to offer the best teaching for our students in the arts of design and invention. This is not merely an education and speculations about what technology can help us achieve, but in how it reveals our predicament as a species and a planet. The education we offer our students is not merely about the market value of technology, but the process of becoming more human. It is about fostering intellectual inquiry, engaged scholarship, and critical citizenry. Thinking beyond is CUT's motto, and in our pursuit of excellence, we strive to be satisfied with nothing less than what is possible to envision beyond. While the world of automated machines tilts us towards greater speeds, we need to cultivate the habit of thinking and value the multiplicity of perspectives. Consider the example given by the German philosopher Theodor Adorno. He once asked searchingly, at the first signs of the onset of the Nazi final solution, who it was that was designing trains that were more efficient without considering where its cargo was being taken. There's a warning here not to forgo the thought of the human as we embark on the wonders of technological possibilities. Our third responsibility is to ensure that we steer clear of an idea of technology as delivering a static world, one where civil war is an order of the day. We need a technology that is always in motion, that is capable of moving us to a more resources-wise future, in which we learn to preserve our vital resources, as much as we offer to change the circumstances of the most vulnerable and destitute. This requires us to avoid making a fetish of technology. My favorite example is from the ancient story of the Trojan horse, which was deployed to be a war machine, but which the Trojans later turned into a monument with which they became enamored. We need to build concepts of technology that take us away from the scene of war towards re-enchanting the world in which we live. In African folklore, this is the point at which we learn to respect our natural world and to understand that exploiting nature will only make the world more difficult to inhabit. In my former institution, Professor Brian O'Connell, the former Vice-Chancellor and Principal, left a legacy where he had challenged the institution to engage in an exercise of sense-making. By this, he meant to ask how can we ensure the development of our people without engaging in the extravagant exploitation of resources on which modern privilege of the few rests. This is truly a challenge once we begin to think about it as an educational project. I believe that the brilliant scholars we have at CUT are capable of helping us out of this quandary that Professor O'Connell posed as a question to frequently reflect on given our current realities as a society and a university community. My fourth and final plea for this university's educational vision is that it pursues an ambition to lead our students to a position of self-sufficiency, but more. While we will endeavor to build entrepreneurial skills, we should be careful that such skills are not simply one to enhance markets. Rather, we should also work towards building technological resources and advance qualifications, for instance, in professional MA and doctoral degrees that will help expand other fields of knowledge, especially in the areas of health, infrastructure development, service delivery, agriculture and manufacturing, and economic sustainability. For this, we need a capable, committed, and visible professoriate to contribute effectively towards this university's educational vision and the renewal of our academic, research, and innovation endeavors. What holds these propositions together is a fast-emerging dogma about the supposedly smooth operation between the human and technology. By this, I mean that we often equate the relation between the human and technology as endowed with simplicity and a form of instrumental reason. Coming out of apartheid and several years after its demise, we can now see that South African citizen is precariously wedged between the condition of being human and the promise of technological resources. This has resulted in a dissonance and anxiety that enfolds both our sense of being human and our understanding of the potential uses of technology. An educational institution such as ours is destined to play a bigger role in the future we are building by creating new relations and attitudes to technology. We have a threefold responsibility: to build an institution, human capacity, and technological means. If we hold to these commitments, a future CUT graduate would not simply be a self-serving entrepreneur, but a social entrepreneur, one who enables others, and by enabling others, makes our existence as a free people emancipated from the stranglehold of race, ethnicity, and gender discrimination, and the many other forms of exclusion and subjugation conceivable and indeed possible. To achieve this, we will require our collective efforts. We should adopt a phrase from the first science woman graduate in South Africa, Charlotte Maxeke, who once famously said, and I quote, "This work is not for ourselves," end quote. To strive to this idea of educational service, we need an institution that functions like a well-oiled machine. Yes, no one tasked with attending to the technological foundations of our society should inhabit an institution that does not function with machinic fluidity, effortless, and with clearly specified ends in sight. To place before you the metaphor of a machine, I'm not asking you to merely become cogs in the apparatus. I do not want you to slide into the mechanized forms of life or be folded into the mechanisms. Heaven forbid. Rather, I'm asking that we attend to the educational principle of collegiality across all sectors of our university who have a common interest in the success of our educational vision and institution, and to the world that we are appointed to serve. Collegiality can only thrive in an institution of higher learning if we dedicate ourselves to consistent study and problem solving. We are inventors, and as such, we need to function in the most enabling environment necessary. There are scripts and codes, norms and forms of accountability, but these are there to encourage creativity and an ethos of collaboration within and across disciplines. We cannot settle for an equality of mediocrity. We need an equality that will lead to greater striving for the ideals that the late Amilcar Cabral, the Guinean revolutionary thinker, who once called for the activation and preservation of the best of what we have learned for the generations to follow. To put it bluntly, I want this institution, which in its Vision 2030 boldly aspires to be a leading African university of technology, shaping the future through innovation, to pave the way in leading us to a new understanding of the uses of technology as a responsibility, firstly to South Africa, and secondly to the world at large. If we hold to this, the taxpayers and various role players in the national system of innovation, including our international partners who fund and advance our existence as academics, students, and workers at the institutional site of the University of Technology, would undoubtedly grant us their full support. Of this, I am convinced. There's already a very strong foundation set by my predecessors, and this I have to acknowledge and give them their well-deserved recognition. As part of our educational project at CUT, our mission is to instill trust in our commitment to our role and responsibility in society and to reshape the narrative about the academic, about who we are, and about our quality academic programs and leading niche areas, and about our research and innovation endeavors. It is indeed to instill hope in our students, the talented young people from all backgrounds, that CUT is set to walk the academic journey with them, to co-create platforms and opportunities to enable them to innovate, to lead, and to improve the world around us. It is now my honor and duty to provide leadership at this remarkable institution, to build on past achievements and to collectively chart a future that we can be all proud of. Madam Chancellor, please allow me to again thank the CUT Council and the university community for their confidence and trust in me to lead the University Vision 2030. I also would like to take a moment to extend my utmost gratitude, firstly to the Almighty, who walks with me always and carries me through all obstacles, and to honor my late parents, my ever-guiding light, Ubaba uDube unzwakele ukhushwayo, noma uSompisi uMantuli uMphemba Belekazi, wo umhlaba unoni kodwa. These are your sacrifices and the fruits of your labor, and I honor your struggles and your sacrifices. To my family, my anchor, my one and only mommy's girl, Azande, my sister, my lifeblood, Uzetu, and to all my blended and extended families and friends who have walked this incredible life and career journey with me. There are also a number of remarkable women and men on whose shoulders I stand, and who are either present here today or have shared messages of support. I wish to wholeheartedly acknowledge them and thank everyone that has taken time to be here today to share this very special and important moment for CUT. And for me, this young at heart girl from Kwamakuta's humble beginnings, your support is immensely appreciated. Kia leboga, thank you, baie dankie.
Thank you, Professor Dube. The CUT community wishes you well on your leadership journey. Walk wisely, noble and proud, but most of all, walk the path that reflects who you truly are. Walk bravely and strong, knowing that you have all the support and prayers needed to be successful, blessed, and safe on your journey. We will now listen to an item by the CUT choir.
Gumama lona liqhaji iqhawekazi gumama lona kunolanga libalele bafazi ukuthwala insana zakhe azifake phansi kwephiko lakhe ngumama lo. She is a true definition of black excellence through education. Ngumama lo. Wayechila uSobukwe wathi education to us means service to Africa. Ngumama lona ngumama lona ngumama lona. Wayechila noBiko wathi education to us means service to Africa. Ngumama lo. Zenithi xa nibuza ubana ngubani otshoni baxelela ukubana kutsho inyengeleza umdaka omnyama kwezilenzi iqabe eliqeqeshekileyo imbonge ingqondo equletha amagama okukhupha ingqobho kokeminye imidaka nqo kumyezo wesobe mandivulelwe ndikho iziqhamo zomdila wenyaniso ndabelane neminye imidaka. Ngumama lo ngumama lo. Kaloku ziinkcuba buchopho ezanichuba ubuchopho zashiya igobhogobho zathatha igobhogobho zafaka ingqobho kuyagqobhozeka le ngqondo ngalamaqaba aqhatha imbola lana asithathileyo asenza amakhoboka kodwa yena ngumama lo through education. Ngumama lona Camagu.
Thank you, CUT Choir. That was beautiful. It is now an opportunity for university partners to convey congratulatory messages on behalf of their constituencies to our Vice-Chancellor. I now call upon our two SRC presidents to congratulate the Vice-Chancellor and Principal on behalf of the SRC and the student body.
Wow. It is a beautiful moment indeed. I'm truly honored. Dumela me dube, dumela. Dumela me dube, dumela. Dumela me dube, dumela. Ladies and gentlemen, Dumela me Dube, Dumela me Dube, Dumela me Dube. Thank you very much, our beautiful choir, for supporting me. Honorable, honored guest, the chairperson of the council, the council of the CUT, the academic staff, the Welcome SRC members that I love so much, Welcome Campus, streaming online. Hello, my beloved people. The community of CUT, our honored guest, the families, greetings. Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Deans, Register, Executive, Vice Chancellor of Universities, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Council members, MEC, Education, our father in the Free State, that Dr. Tate Mahwe, SABC CEO, Umalusi CEO, Madam Justice Mbele, DG, D-Head, Archbishop Makhoba, VC's family, MENCOM, Program Director, and all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, our voices are indeed, our expressions are indeed in our voices. So pardon me for my extreme and overjoyed excitement in this moment. And I thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here and a privilege to witness this historical celebration. I am really honored to be part of this prestigious moment, celebrating the appointment of the phenomenal woman, Professor Pamela Dube. I'm not sure if these are your clan's names, but just to give you a warm welcome here, I'll give it a shot. Dube, Mtiman, Nyamazan, Nyamazani lengadliwa, wena mzomba, wena masibekela, gisho wena masibekela, lo wasibekela enkosi gelothuli. Suka dludlu, kuhlale umkhakhatha, ha, kushwaya. I, Katleo Ntaba, student representative, Council President of the Central University of Technology, Welcome Campus. Madam, congratulations. We are happy to welcome you as the first black woman to ascend such a prestigious position. We look forward to a flourishing academic year as the Student Representative Council. We hope to have a special relationship with you and to strengthen it under your guidance and leadership. Vice Chancellor, be at liberty to communicate and engage us in all academic-related issues. We are humbled by your presence in the institution. We, as the Student Representative Council from Welcome Campus, we congratulate you, Prof. Pamela Dube. From Welcome Campus, we wish you a very prosperous and healthy years in serving the students at large. For that, I thank you for placing your position in this institution. Really, as a black nation, we are moving, and I'm glad. Our mothers were kitchen girls. Now, our mothers are vice chancellors. Kase soto ke re me wa ka ke o lebohela from deep in my heart. Ke o lebohela. Truly, you are the image that female students need to look up to. And for that, I'm rest assured that this institution will have a gentle touch in all corners of this institution. For that, I thank you. Dumela me Dube, Dume.
Greetings to the House. Before I start, to congratulate Madam VC, we have a nice poem for you for Bloemfontein campus. So I'm going to call Cleo Maloka to do a nice poem for you.
Dumelang. Nna ke Mosotho ke tlo tla bua ka Sesotho. Dumelang ntle le pelaelo du. Dumelang le seke la nqenela nna ke tlilo tshwela rebe ya nnete. Ntumelleng lona Basotho maparako ba matle majara fura ka mahetla tjhaba sa Rantsho bana ba thesele ke bue ka mosadi. Bari thipa o e tshwara ka bohaleng ile a tshireletsa ba atleng tsa hae ba fubeng sa hae. Ke re mosadi ke mosadi hobane ho yena ho tswa ditjhaba. Ke re o kgethuwe hobane a na le tsebo ya ho busa mo tlohelleng a buse. Pamela Dube o kgetsi ya khotso kgolo ya tjhaba sa Moshweshwe. Ntumelle ko jwetsa hore re a tshepa hore re atlentse mofuthu bane ho mosadi. Ho yena boetapele o bonoilwe a so hati lena la ka kwano lefatshe o tswile a tlentsa mantsopa ka sebele sa hae a mo apetsa tlolo ya ho rena. Ka wa hae mokokotlo o tlile hore jara hobane ho yena wa hae mokokotlo o etseditswe ho jara. Ha tsamaya o hata kwekwe o boulela ka ba hae bosading ka re ke a mo bona hobane ke seponono ya bo khaihile. O tswa ka matjeke a lokisetse bana seo ba tlo seja e re ha letsatsi le sunyang ko mobung o ya sekgwaneng sa hae o llela ba kalosong ya hae ho Ramasedi hlile o tswa ntlong ya thapelo e hleka wa nkutlwa. Ke ne ke sa tshintshi ke ne ke tla mo bitsa twadi ya mo Afrika empa o ya e feta Afrika. Ke a mo lebohisa hobane ke mosadi e hlile puso ena ya naha e lokela ho ba matsong a basadi hobane ba ne ba sa butsi morao empa ona jwale re tlilo tla ba bontsha hore basadi ba ya kgona le bona ke bana ba batho. Ha ke diela dikgala ke re ho wena ba yena university bokamoso bo diatleng tsa hao e hlile re o beha ho wena hobane wa hao mokokotlo ke boletse ka re o sephara o tlilo tla re jara re le bana ba hao dikgomo Basotho.
Greetings to the House, greetings to the Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, our DVCs, Registrar, Deputy Registrar, D-Head, Dean of Students, Guest, President of Alumni, Chairperson of IF, colleagues, and the students of Central University of Technology at large. I greet you. My name is Thabo Moapela, the institutional president of the SRC. My job here on the podium is very brief and straightforward. I felt honored to be invited to speak at this event and was required to present on the welcoming of our beloved Madam Vice-Chancellor, Prof. Pamela Dube. Let me start by extending a warm welcome to you at Central University of Technology. We heard great things about you and your interest in student affairs. Therefore, we are very happy as the SRC of Bloemfontein that we will be collaborating with you to ensure that we realize the goal we established for Vision 2030. According to according to which we intend to be the leading university of technology in Africa. When students demand answers that we as student leaders we don't have, we are aware that you will be very frustrated, since we are known as the university that protest when we are not happy about some things. We sincerely hope you will bring stability to Central University of Technology. We have observed that despite having a busy schedule, you maintain an open door policy for us. We will ensure that we collaborate in order to accomplish a lot of things because we believe in you. Finally, as the student leaders, we have been sobbing and pleading with the university to have a woman who is a Vice-Chancellor. We even prayed about it. And now that you are the Vice-Chancellor of Central University of Technology, we are very grateful. Diverseness is one of our guiding principles. So we hope you will adopt one. We don't want to lie to you, but after learning that you will be our new Vice-Chancellor, we sent Amaroto to investigate about you. We then discover that exactly you are who we want as student leaders. With those words, we as the SRC of Bloemfontein, we welcome you and we shall work very closely. I thank you.
Thank you. I now call upon the chairperson of Nteo and the secretary of Nahawu to speak on behalf of their constituencies.
Dumelang. My name is Buipelo Nakedi. I'm the chairperson of the CUT Nteo branch. Our distinguished guests, all protocol observed. We would like to say to our new Vice-Chancellor and Principal, in you, Prof. Dube, we embrace leadership, intersectionality, and decoloniality of knowledge and power in higher education. It is with humbling gratitude and a sense of deep pride to be amongst the union leaders and staff members to recognize your leadership milestone in higher education leadership. I stand here this afternoon on behalf of the National Tertiary Education Union and wish to extend our heartfelt welcome to you as a first Black female leader in your role as a Vice-Chancellor of Central University of Technology. We are confident that with your extensive leadership background as a Black South African woman leader, you will navigate the transformational agenda at our institution. Your acquired global and cosmopolitan perspective would enhance the developmental objectives and educational transformation with the support of both staff and student community. With your expertise and leadership, skills and talent, we are confident that you will be provided with a visionary agenda that pertains to intersectionality approach and decoloniality of knowledge and power here in CUT. The local demographics, workplace equity, and student prioritization will assist in the productivity amongst staff and the good progression of students at CUT. In conclusion, Madam Vice-Chancellor, we as Nteo wish to declare our non-racial, non-sexist, and an inclusive approach towards transformation in higher education. And we are particularly encouraged by the fact that the nurturing of our local talent will be adequately, be there or visible with your international expertise and with the international community, as is exemplified by the higher bar that you have set for all of us as Africans, and particularly as Black women. Vice-Chancellor Dube, you have been embraced by Nteu, and we will support all your inclusive transformation programs with a focused bias towards all the downtrodden staff and academics, and prioritization of the needy and socially marginalized students at CUT. In you, we do have a Black woman patriot, and we could not have asked for more. Please continue to shine where you are. Congratulations are in order, and we feel at home in the Free State, and particularly in our beautiful city of Roses, Mangaung, Siaku Amukela. We welcome you, and we wish you all of the best in your professional endeavors. On behalf of Nteu, we welcome you.
I am Dr. Mantwa Molete, the Provincial Coordinator of Nehau, Free State. Chancellor Madam Justice Mahube Molemela, Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Pamela Dube, members of Council present, members of institutional structures present, internal and external stakeholders present, all dignitaries present, all protocol observed. Dear Professor Pamela Dube, the leadership and members of Nehau CUT branch would like to congratulate you for adding another historical moment to the institution, Black Girl Magic, Black Girl Power. Prof, your timing couldn't be more perfect. Firstly, because you come at the time that the perspective around what transformation means to this institution needs to change and take another direction. Firstly, from the perspective of a Black child who can fully contextualize the struggles within Black South African communities, especially looking at aspects such as socio-economic issues that hinders on the progress of a Black child. As a Black academic who will understand the need for a transformed curriculum that speaks to ownership and identity for the purpose of moving towards a decolonized and an Afrocentric approach in South Africa's education. As a Black woman who understands the struggles of the marginalized, especially in this Anglo-centric environment we find ourselves in as workers in higher education, and more specifically this institution, where despite the many reports made both at ministerial level and institutional level on issues of Black South African women, inequality, gender-based violence, salary disparities, we are subjected to perspectives of those speaking from a point of privilege or wasting time and resources playing petty politics. Secondly, you come at the time when the workers of the Central University of Technology need a nurturing and caring spirit, a mother's love, and most importantly, the correct application of the recently inserted value called Ubuntu, which is embedded in so many African proverbs and is the core of the collectivism approach embraced by Black African families, and is ironically non-existing at this institution. A time where the current psychological makeup of workers needs to be shifted from fear and care to trust. Furthermore, they are morally uplifted, so they feel part of a family and therefore comfortable to express themselves, whether it is to express dissatisfaction or discomfort, or to share their creative and brilliant ideas that can provide a clearer picture on ways CUT can achieve its Vision 2030, without threats, intimidation, or dismissive approaches, but using constructive criticism, motivation, and love. We as Nehau commit ourselves to support what you envisioning the future of CUT to be like, and we cannot wait, as well as how you intend to incorporate that vision into Vision 2030. We further commit ourselves to rally our members towards embracing excellence in all spheres of work, but most importantly, in the core business of this institution, namely quality teaching and learning improvement in research productivity, and engaging the local and global community through partnerships. Ours as Nehao is to ensure unity and collective effort amongst all stakeholders because, as the saying goes, if you want to walk fast, you walk alone. But if you want to walk far, you walk together. Siyakuhalalisela, Nyamazane, Kushwayo, Nehao view you as Masechaba, loosely or directly translated as Mother of the Nation. We hope you will live up to that name and become the mother the CUT community is in dire need for. We want to wish you all the best and all the success during your tenure as Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the Central University of Technology, Free State. Thank you.
Thank you. I now call upon the Alumni Association President and the Institutional Forum Chairperson to congratulate the Vice-Chancellor on behalf of their constituencies.
Madam Chancellor, Madam Chair, Madam VC, hey, why transform the university? You can tell. Chairperson of IF, President of SRCs, VCs, Chancellors and Registers of various universities, Collective of Alumni Association, the #1 MEC of the country, Comrade Tate Mahwe. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on your inauguration as the new Vice-Chancellor of Central University of Technology. It is an honor to witness the start of this new chapter in your career. And we are confident that you lead this university to even greater heights. Your appointment as Vice-Chancellor is testamental to your outstanding academic record, experience, and leadership skills. We are certain that under your guidance, the university will excel in research, teaching, and community engagement. As this province is the #1 province in education, we wish that under your leadership, this university be the leading university and #1 university in the country. Your dedication to academic excellence, innovation, and inclusivity is truly inspiring, and we are eager to see positive impact you will make as Vice-Chancellor. We are also eager to see the inclusivity that you will bring of all statutory bodies into this institution. We wish you the best, the very best, on embarking on an exciting new journey. Your leadership and vision will inspire future generation and student and faculty at universities. Congratulations once more again, and we're looking forward as the Alumni Association to many great accomplishments ahead with you and your leadership. Thank you.
Good afternoon. And like we always say in meetings, we'll take it as read, so all protocol observed. I'm extremely honored to be standing in front of all of you today, welcoming the new VC. But from tomorrow, you are no longer going to be a new VC. You'll be our VC. The day is mainly special because of the successful completion of a process. The primary mandate of IF is to ensure implementation of transformation and advise council and other existing structures within the university. Now, I made an observation as the choir was singing, and they were singing a very nice song. And I could see people moving from their chairs, but they were scared to stand up. We need to start transforming that. If you feel like, this is a celebration. If you feel like standing up and dance, you must dance. So we need to start changing certain particular things to make sure that we envisage this transformation in reality. Now, when I was thinking about or writing this message, I was thinking, what can I relate CUT to? And I decided to relate CUT to a second-hand car. Normally when you buy a second-hand car, you'll either get it with a roadworthy certificate or without a roadworthy certificate. But if you want to have it with a roadworthy certificate, it goes through a process, VC. Now this is done to ensure that this car is roadworthy, also to maximize the lifespan of the car, and also to maintain the value. Now, this process that is conducted to get a roadworthy certificate, normally they diagnose the car, run what we call 125-point check, and then in order for them to be able to provide you with a report. Now you then need to use this report to decide what are you going to do after that. Now, one of the things that you might need to do is that you need to fix the parts that needs to be fixed. You need to repair those that needs to be repaired. And you might need to replace others to make sure that this car will be able to take you longer. And maybe if you have not gone through this process of report and so on, you might need to go through it to make sure that as you start driving this car, it's able to take you 5 years and beyond 5 years, knowing that it's roadworthy. True reality is that there are good things that have happened in this university, and there are challenges that are existing. But today I'm not going to speak about challenges. It's a celebratory day. But I know that I'll get an opportunity to be able to be part of the solution contributors. I just want to say congratulations, VC, and that we'll continue to support you as we have always done with the previous VCs, and ensure that we strengthen this university to be able to reach heights. If we really want to be the best university in Africa, we need to make sure that all things that we do indicate that we are able to get there. The world of today is changing. We are speaking about artificial intelligence, where you've got a machine that can be able to sense your mood and be able to determine a number of things. Now, it indicates that we are moving to a different direction. We are speaking about entrepreneurship, a number of things that are there. But for us to be able to get in those things, we really need to be serious about it. It's really concerning that we are centers of knowledge, but we have crisis of electricity today with number of engineers here who are sitting and researching every day. We must be concerned to say what kind of education are we producing, because we need to produce education that is practical, where we are able to be part of the contributors to solution. We can't be sitting having social ills in our society and communities. We have engineers, electrical, mechanical, what engineers. They're existing in the universities as centers of knowledge. Professors and doctors and everybody. We need to start, our community engagements must no longer about giving food parcels. We must be deliberate, go there and provide solutions to our communities. And I want to say congratulations, VC. Thank you very much.
I now call upon Senate Deputy Chairperson, Professor David Ngidi, to congratulate the Vice-Chancellor on behalf of the Senate.
our Chancellor, Madam Malimela, and our new VC with your family present here, the VCs of other universities who have joined us today, and all other delegates who are present. And for the sake of time, please allow me to say all protocol observed. Vice-Chancellor and Principal, on behalf of Senate, which is the highest statutory academic decision-making body at the university, of which you happen to be the chairperson, and of which, by virtue of being the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Teaching and Learning, I am your Deputy Chairperson, would like to congratulate you on your appointment as the first female and African Vice-Chancellor of the Central University of Technology, Free State. We know that you were not appointed just because you are an African female, but you are appointed because of your vast and wealth of knowledge, as well as extensive experience in the higher education sector in the main, your leadership skills and academic qualifications that are necessary to drive our 2030 vision to its fruition. As senators, we promise that we will always rally behind you and unequivocally support you as you execute your functions as the Chief Academic Officer, Chief Executive Officer, and Accounting Officer of our university. And most importantly, as you lead us as a body responsible for and accountable to Council for the academic and research functions of this university. We are confident that in the exercise of your leadership responsibility, you will give us direction to our strategy and planning functions of our university, as we aspire to be a leading African University of Technology, shaping the future through innovation by the year 2030. In conclusion, I would like to wish you all the best in your new journey, and as you chair your first official Senate meeting on the 6th of March, 2023. Congratulations. Dubeli Mthende, Nzwakele, Kushwayo, Mbuyazi kaThekeli, ongathekeli nakwandodakazi, ongathekeli emzini emncane, ongathekeli emzini emkhulu, ongathekeli nakwamakhelwane, othekela emanqumlumeni, maqhama, nyamazane ehlala ekhaya, nyamazane enhle engadliwa. I thank you.
I now call upon Professor Francis Peterson, Rector and Vice-Chancellor of the University of the Free State, to congratulate Professor Pamela Dube on behalf of universities and TVET colleges.
Thank you, Program Director, Madam Chancellor, new Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dube, and I also just want to acknowledge our Chair of University South Africa, Professor Mutwa, in our midst as well. All other honored guests here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to extend heartfelt congratulations to Professor Dube on behalf of the University of the Free State, as well as on behalf of our 26 public universities and the TVET sector. Professor Dube takes up this important position at what is widely recognized a pivotal time for higher education across the globe. As a sector, we certainly find ourselves at a unique juncture in time where global and local events and developments combine to provide unprecedented challenges for higher education. In many ways, we are still navigating the aftermath of a destructive pandemic, having to deal with the economic and health ramifications, as well as the general uncertainty about the future it has brought about. So COVID-19 has, however, also presented unique opportunities for the higher education sector. Opportunities for international collaboration and cooperation, and I will also introduce the word co-creation, and for a concerted focus on developing remote and hybrid teaching and learning models, which have proven to be invaluable in planning for future scenarios. Our sector generally responded with exceptional grit and tenacity, finding innovative solutions to the many challenges faced by our students during this time. It is vital that we keep this momentum going and continue to build on the initiatives and the platforms that have been established. On a national level, an ever-present and growing challenge for our sector remains the issue of funding a workable, sustainable funding model to ensure the continued access and success of our students. It is abundantly clear that we cannot continue to rely so heavily on government resources, and that we need to look for sustainable alternative solutions that combine input from the public, private, and other sectors into higher education. Shortfalls regarding funding by the National Student Financial Aid Scheme remain a burning point of concern. So does the need for a clear policy to assist the so-called missing middle, struggling students who do not qualify for NSFAS funding. Plus, of course, the issue of the looming student debt, currently estimated around 18 billion rand. So in this truly challenging scenario, Professor Dube, higher education institutions have an ever-increasingly vital role to play. In a country where the youth unemployment hovers around 63%, it is important to note that only 12.5% of graduates are without work. While that figure is still unacceptably high, it is a clear indication of the significant difference a tertiary degree can make for young job seekers in our country. The importance of collaboration and partnership in fulfilling this important role cannot be overemphasized. At the University of the Free State, we firmly believe in finding multidisciplinary solutions for complex societal problems. And over the years, the University of the Free State and the Central University of Technology have had productive and meaningful collaborations and joint ventures, not only in the field of research, but also in teaching and learning initiatives, as well as engaged scholarship initiatives. Together, we had a definite and sustainable impact on the communities surrounding us in Bloemfontein and the larger Free State province. The relationship between our institutions is something we cherish, and that we hope to continuously develop and expand these in years to come. In closing, Program Director, I believe we cannot successfully fulfill our role and our purpose, nor negotiate the current challenging landscape of higher education without a clear vision of where we want to go. At the University of the Free State, we recently drafted Vision 130 after a process of intense and wide consultation and institutional soul-searching. It embodies our intent to reposition our institution for 2034, when we will commemorate our 130th year in existence. Professor Dube, we know that the Central University of Technology has crystallized a vision for itself in a similar fashion to illuminate the road ahead. And with regard to accomplishing that vision, I want to leave you with these words of John Maxwell. A great leader's courage to fulfill his or her vision comes from passion and not from position. May you, on the journey that lies before you, continuously draw on the passion you so obviously have for higher education and also for this institution that you are now leading. Thank you.
We will now listen to congratulatory messages of Professor Tyrone Pretorius, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of the Western Cape, Professor Christian W. Thompson, PhD Supervisor, University of Ziegen, Professor Petra Fogel, on behalf of the Rectorate of the University of Ziegen, and Honorable Andreas Peschke, the German Ambassador.
Chairperson of Council, Executive Management and colleagues at CUT, students, guests attending this inauguration, and the new Vice-Chancellor, Professor Pamela Dube. I regret that I'm not attending in person, but I'm currently traveling on university business. I try to plead with the new Vice-Chancellor to use her authority to reschedule this inauguration, but as I was no longer her boss, she refused to comply. I bring you warm greetings from the University of the Western Cape and sincere congratulations to Professor Pamela Dube on her inauguration as the Principal and Vice-Chancellor of the Central University of Technology. I bring you this message on behalf of the staff and students at UWC, where a short while ago, Prof. Dube was a much respected member of the university executive. Prof. Dube, as you prepare for your term in office as the Central University of Technology leader, we congratulate you on your appointment as one of the leaders of South Africa's 26 public universities, and for being one of the 7 women at the helm. I am convinced that Prof. Dube's tenure at UWC and her other career experience have prepared her to take on the challenge that she has set for herself, that of growing CUT into a leading University of Technology in Africa. Professor Dube started as Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Student Development and Support in 2015, during one of the most challenging times in the history of higher education in South Africa. As Fees Must Fall captured the world's attention and brought student concerns to the fore, Professor Dube was integral to the often difficult engagements we had with students. When those uncertain times were finally over, those conversations and experiences helped shape her future engagement with students by learning, listening, and understanding their challenges and needs. In essence, she was a passionate advocate for the well-being of our students. That advocacy went far beyond talking. Today, UWC continues to benefit from the many projects and initiatives that were implemented under her leadership. These were not only aimed at addressing students' academic success. Instead, Professor Dube believed in a holistic student experience that addressed mental health, gender equality, gender-based violence, co-curricular activities, and student governance. When she saw the reality of students going hungry on campus, Professor Dube and her team established partnerships with companies to ensure food security. When she realized that gender equality needed to be more than just words, she introduced gender awareness training. Her ability to tackle challenging issues was evident in the manner that she established and led a task team to review our sexual violence policy and protocols. As a result, a revised sexual violence policy and detailed support mechanisms were provided. When she saw that students did not have outlets so their voices could be heard, she established the Media Society, which led to student radio, television, and print platforms. When she learned how mental health challenges affected our students' lives, her office created partnerships with health providers to offer support and intervention, which remained available even during the pandemic. To believe that education could transform and empower, and that each student's integral and inherent experiences must be recognized, informed the work of the Student Development and Support Division. This is what Professor Dube brought to UWC as a passionate advocate of students and as a senior executive. It is now what you will have at CUT. Professor Dube also brings a wealth of national and international networks to CUT, a vital asset for any institution of higher learning. These are a few examples of Professor Dube's impact on the lives of staff and students at UWC. She will, however, be remembered for more than this. Her actions, as you will find for yourself, are motivated by the need to develop and improve the lives of the students in her care. She does so with determination, empathy, and compassion, qualities that will help her in her new role as Vice-Chancellor of CUT. As a referee for Professor Dube, I stated in my referee's report that UWC's loss is CUT's gain. You have gained a leader of academic standing who will work tirelessly to deliver on her promise to make sure the Central University of Technology is a leader on the continent. Professor Dube, as you start your term in office as the leader of CUT, be assured of our friendship and support. I'm confident that you will inspire and lead CUT to a new phase of growth and development. May the future be filled with great success for you, your management team, and the university community. We will be following the trajectory of CUT with interest, as we know you have the ability and capacity to lead it to greater heights. I thank you.
Hi, dear Pam. Congratulations from all the Thompson family, and the best wishes for your new job.
And all the best to you and Asanda.
Pam, in particular, I congratulate you to your new position at CUT, the largest technical university in South Africa. And in your person, you combine the humanities as well as technical studies, as well as studies of engineering. And I think there could be no better person filling the position of principal and vice-chancellor. So our best wishes for your future success, and we sincerely hope that you will come to Muskegon again and establish closer relations between CUT and the University of Siegen.
Dear Professor Dube, it is a really great pleasure for me to bring you and CUT greetings from the University of Siegen. We congratulate you on your inauguration as Vice-Chancellor and Principal of CUT. It is a great honor for us that you, as our alumna, will now take up this position at CUT. You began your studies in English at our university in 1990, and after completing your master's degree, you also went on to complete your doctorate under the supervision of our colleague, Professor Thomsen. We are very pleased that your studies in Siegen have been a starting point for your remarkable academic career. During your stay in Germany, you have also been very active in shaping the international and intercultural exchange at our university with a strong impact on us, the city, and the region. In this context, a lot of us remember the Africa Week, which you once facilitated with its diverse intercultural exchange and promotion of internationalization. Your time in Siegen, as you told us yourself, still continues to influence you in your professional development as well as personally. From our side, we are very proud of your long-term relationship with the University of Siegen based on your personal contact with Professor Thomsen, as well as with the alumni network. You actively support the network, especially by participating in the International Alumni Academies, where the focus lies on sustainability issues. Your participation in these events is a highly valued enrichment for our university and its internationalization. We are sure that with your exceptional personality and your remarkable new position at CUT, you will continue to be a strong link between our universities. Even the mission statement of CUT, shaping the future through innovation, nicely ties in with the University of Siegen's mission statement, shaping a humane future. In this sense, we wish you much pleasure and success in your new position and look forward to continue cooperating with you in the future.
Dear Vice-Chancellor, esteemed dignitaries of the Central University of Technology, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to send a warm congratulatory message on the inauguration of Professor Dube as Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the CUT. I am firmly convinced that the CUT, under the active leadership of Professor Dube, will embark on a continued trajectory for academic excellence and moral leadership. Academic cooperation is also an important part of South African-German relations. We have a significant number of South African scholars, researchers, academics, and students who study or do their research in Germany. And vice versa, quite a number of German academics and students who are being received by South African academic institutions. There are many partnerships between South African and German universities, as international cooperation is an intrinsic part of academic networks. In this way, we are also looking forward to continued fruitful contacts with the Central University of Technology in Bloemfontein. Dear Professor Dube, once again, congratulations. Alala, Siakufisela Inhlanhla, Nemi Pumelelo Emikulu. Thank you very much.
I now call upon Dr. Nkosi Nati Sishi, Director General from the Department of Higher Education and Training, to convey a message of support on behalf of the Ministry.
I'm not Dr. Sishi, but I would just like to check. He is on his way, so I just wanted to check if maybe he had arrived while I was pretending to be him. No, okay. My name is Thandi Lewin. I'm from the Department of Higher Education and Training, and I'm very honored to be here at this very auspicious occasion. the Chancellor, Justice Molemela, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dube, and your family and friends, and in particular Azande, the esteemed members of the University Council, Deputy Chair, the staff and students of the university, the executive of the university, other Vice-Chancellors, current Vice-Chancellors, and there's some former Vice-Chancellors here as well, and lots of registrars as well. It's really great to be here, honored guests. Good evening to you. I am reading Dr. Sishi's speech. Unfortunately, the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation was unable to be here tonight. I know that he really would have wanted to be here. And I know that Dr. Sishi is on his way from Gauteng to join us. But it is a great honor and privilege for me to be here representing the Minister, representing the Department of Higher Education and Training, and to congratulate Professor Dube on her appointment as the new Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the Central University of Technology with effect from the 1st of January this year. Vice-Chancellor, be very assured of our support and our well wishes from the side of the department. I'm very confident that CUT will excel under your leadership, and I'm confident for several reasons. One, Prof. Dube brings extensive knowledge and experience to CUT. She has served in many different capacities in our higher education system in South Africa and internationally as well. Most recently, of course, you heard her former Vice-Chancellor, Tyrone Pretorius, and she was playing a very important role at the University of the Western Cape, but she has also played leadership roles at the University of Johannesburg, at the University of the Witwatersrand. She has also worked in the sector in other capacities, including at the South African Nuclear Energy Corporation, and she's provided leadership in a huge range of areas and will bring that to this position. Of course, that means that, secondly, she is extremely qualified for this position, given her extensive experience. But three, and most importantly, Professor Dube served in the Department of Education as a director in our branch, the University Education branch. In fact, she cut her teeth, I would say, in the government machinery, and she understands, as a result, the complexity of our history of our system, our education system, our post-school education and training system. And she, by the way, has also continued to support the work of the department in many different capacities, including very recently participating in two ministerially appointed task teams, one on a review that was done of the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, which completed its work about 18 months ago, and most recently also serving on an advisory task team for the Minister on dealing with sexual harassment and gender-based violence and harm in the university sector, playing a very important role there. And we are really grateful for her continued commitment to the work of government and the work of the sector. So Prof. Dube, our brand new Vice-Chancellor, we are so proud of you in the department, in government. We really are proud of you and your career trajectory. And we hope that the foundation that you have had in government is going to stand you well and will continue to serve you well in your career, which is at this stage a very prestigious one. Honored guests, we know that Prof. Dube has all the attributes of a very strong leader. I want to tell you that she is a person of incredible integrity, and she is really a skilled person. She's very skilled at building partnerships. She has a huge passion, as you've already heard from many other speakers, for working with the primary stakeholders of institutions, who are the students. And I have no doubt that her excellent communication and management skills and her proven track record as a scholar and an executive in higher education will stand her in good stead. It's no accident that Prof. Dube is favored by a university that is driven by a bold dictum, thinking beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, CUT's Vision 2030 document of the Central University of Technology states that it aspires to be a university of technology that delivers high-quality, appropriate science, technology, engineering, and mathematics academic programs, as well as those in management sciences, education, and humanities supported by applied research, that engages with the community for mutually beneficial development, that promotes access with success in attracting potentially successful students and supporting them to become employable and job-creating graduates, that attracts and retains high-quality students and expert staff and supports their development and well-being, and that forges strategic partnerships that are mutually beneficial. And we are really excited by these focus areas, and we have no doubt, Prof. Dube, that you will add enormous value to these. And we heard, we're very excited to hear about your vision in your speech earlier. But we do illuminate these focus areas, particularly because of their economic and social importance. Honored guests, their demand for technologically adept, work-integrated curriculum frameworks and entrepreneurship-focused higher education and training is unparalleled at this time in the history of our sector. And CUT, like the other 25 public universities, has no choice but to respond to this challenge if it hopes to remain relevant. The revolutionary academic and activist Angela Davis once said, "I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change, I'm changing the things I cannot accept." I think this is a good quote, given what I know about Pamela Dube. And you will agree also that the appointment of Professor Dube, the university has really embraced change, changing the gender profile of the sector. You've chosen very well, university. Professor Dube becomes, at the current moment, the 7th woman Vice-Chancellor in the system. And if I'm correct, that's definitely the highest number of women Vice-Chancellors that we've ever had. So it's a historical moment for our sector as well. And it's really very exciting, and we really appreciate also, Prof. Dube, your willingness to contribute to the sector in this leadership position. In closing, on behalf of the Minister and on behalf of the department, I wish you huge strength. It's a really difficult job to be a Vice-Chancellor, but an important one, with your tenacity, with your knowledge, your integrity, your incredible relationships that you have. I have no doubt that this university will rise to better heights, and the potential of this university is immense. And we look really forward to working closely with you as we solve the challenges in the sector. And please rest assured of our unwavering support as the department, the leadership of the department and the Minister as well. I really wish you well. Congratulations. Thanks.
I now call upon Dr. Tate Magwe, member of the Executive Council for Education in the Free State Province, to deliver a message of support to the congregation on behalf of the provincial government.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Madam Justice Molemela, the Chancellor, the new Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dube. I have realized that we have a lot of people here who are very, very important. So I don't want to make a mistake of mentioning others and not mentioning others. But I can't forget to mention students, SRC leadership, because otherwise I'll be in problems. But I want to say that to all of us that all protocol observed. Let me use this opportunity as a member of the Executive Council responsible for education and a member of the Provincial Cabinet of the Free State, to thank the Council of the University for making us very, very proud in terms of the choice of the Vice-Chancellor you have made. I think we are so proud. I was very proud when I see everybody speaking, and I saw Professor Dube herself, and I think that you have made us very, very proud, and thank you to the Council itself. I'm saying this because I know this process took some time. It was not easy. You had to do much more than one interviews. The JJ is not like us, where you make one interview and then it's over. So here you had to make a lot of interviews, and interviews that included even speaking to the learners themselves, or not the learners, the students. The students and the academic body itself. So we really think that you did a good job. And the person that you have produced, we are also proud to be associated with them. So on behalf of the Free State Provincial Government and the local government, because I know that the university has got a very strong relationship with the local government here in Mangaung and many other municipalities, but even more importantly, with us as a provincial government. We hope, Prof, that many of these projects that we have will continue under your leadership. But I think they will even be strengthened. And maybe before I go on, I must really thank a person who has not been thanked, Professor Ngowi, for holding the fort for so long. And you know, I did ask Professor Ngowi, why are you not applying? And after all this presentation, I understand why I did not apply. We have quite a number of partnerships with the university. This is like our second home. Every year, we host annually. At the beginning of every year, we host a well-done function here. And this place is normally very full. All top learners of the Free State converge here. And then all top principals and those who only achieve 100% and 90% are invited. And then in that event, the university has been very generous, because the university has always committed about 10 or so bursaries. I am sure that when I shout Malibongwe, Igalama Koskas, those bursaries will be increased to 20. And we also don't only have that kind of partnership. We have other projects that did not start very well. We have put money in this university, and we've got a project that we call STEM that is trying to focus and help our learners to improve maths and science at the school level. Because many of these engineers that the young people were referring to can help us and have actually helped us. So when you see the Free State achieving 88.5% and 43% bachelors, it is also because of contribution that these men and women behind me are doing. And we really want to thank you for that. We have also had other programs with the university, programs such as Innovation Hub. That one is still outstanding. And I was listening, attentively when we were speaking about technology. And also understanding that you come from Germany, where I have seen universities of technology. In fact, Professor from the University of Peterson was talking about the funding of the universities. Some of the universities in Germany, we were told that they are able to raise almost up to 80% of their revenue working with industry. We hope that we will be able to achieve that one day in our lives. I have full trust at this university. I know that this university is one of the best in the country. Ministers and ministers, starting from Minister Pando, have said it. You can go in there, don't look at the university from outside. Go into the workshops, go into the labs, go into the 3D printers, and then you'll understand that the university, Central University of Technology, it has made the right choice in terms of appointing you as Vice-Chancellor, because itself, it is simply the best university in South Africa. We really also just want to stand up here and say, Prof, we are ready to work with you. University must be part of the ecosystem of the society. All the challenges that are confronting us, if we work together, we can be able to deal with them. And we want to request, honestly, now that media is here, we don't want praise singers. We don't want you to always praise us. Where we are wrong, you must be able to confront us and say, Tate, this is not the right way of doing it. And this is what is backing me. So we really want that kind of working together, because South Africa is a very important country. It cannot fail. South Africa is a hope of the whole African continent. It cannot fail. And South Africa is where we were born, and that is where we are going to die. And we can't allow it to fail. So we extend our arm to you, Prof, and the team in your council, and say we want to work with you. We not only extend our arm, we will even put our budget, just if you come on time, before we conclude the budget. So that now we can discuss the issues, identify, because I believe that the Elon Musks of this world, all these Einsteins and so on, they are here at these universities. We must just give them oomph, the support, and we are behind you every way, every step of the way, and we should be able to achieve what we need to be able to achieve. I must also just put an apology from the Premier. We were just having a Lekgotla, and then I just had to move out of Lekgotla to come and witness this auspicious occasion. So thank you very much, Prof, and you are welcome here in the Free State. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the congratulatory messages and messages of support. I'm now going to ask Reg to do a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and those that are non-binary. It is an honor and privilege for me to be the one that is sharing with you the vote of thanks this afternoon for this inauguration event of our Vice-Chancellor. Before I go into the vote of thanks, allow me to say all protocol observed. I would like to first start by thanking the ministry. Dr. Thandi Lewin, thank you for jumping in for the ministry. Dr. Sishi is also acknowledged in his absence, as well as the Honorable Minister, Blade Nzimande. We want to thank the minister for always supporting the endeavors that CUT puts forward. Please extend our gratitude. I also wish to thank the MEC who just stepped down and shared with us a number of initiatives that he is spearheading with CUT, and acknowledge his continued support in respect of that, especially in the STEM program, which is one of our key initiatives that are driven at CUT. MEC, we are really grateful and we continue to work well together. To the members of the CUT Council, we thank you for your leadership and your continued support in as far as our business is concerned. Madam Chancellor, thank you so much for serving the institution with such distinction. As a titular head, you are really the epitome of what the CUT aspirations and values are, and we look up for you for that. We are really grateful to have you leading this institution. Madam Vice-Chancellor, I am humbled to be the one who is saying that to lead with you, it will really be an exciting moment to witness in history, and I look forward to that. And I know I speak on behalf of all the executives here to say that we will hold hands with you, we will navigate with you. May your vision and the vision of CUT converge as you lead us towards our Vision 2030. We've heard the messages of congratulations from your colleagues that you've worked with. We can at least rest assured that those that you have come to cross path with, they really honor and value your contribution. This really comforts us because it says to us we did not just do a tick box exercise in addressing transformation, but we found a leader that has got the key competencies that are necessary to lead this institution and take us forward. We really are thanking you for accepting this offer to lead this university. We don't take that for granted, and we'll work with you. To the executive management team of the Central University of Technology, senior management, members of Senate, the vice-chancellors, registrars, chancellors from other institutions, we want to thank you for coming and celebrating with us. We know that you took time from your busy schedules to share this moment with us, and for that, we really want to appreciate your presence today. To our unions, both NEHAU as well as NDEU, our SRC leadership, President of the Alumni, IF, representation, we want to thank you for bringing some stability into this institution. We are really grateful to have such a collaborative network in our engagements. I would like to express appreciation to the CUT community that is present here today, the guests that are present today, guests that are joining us virtually, and really express appreciation for you to spending this time with us. You are also recognized and appreciated for that. To our partners in academia, business, and those that are taking the time away from their busy schedules to share with us, we want to say to you, you are contributing to changing the generation, the future generation of our students by really affirming the presence of the Vice-Chancellor today for this inauguration. The CUT choir, thank you for sharing your music. We enjoyed listening to you. We really want to say thank you for always rising to the occasion. And it will be amiss if I left you out of this huge list that I have before me. Thank you. Program Director, I'm going to hand over to you just in a moment. But before I do, let me recognize the team that put all of this together. The marketing team, the team in resource, the registrar's office, secretariat services, AGU, infrastructure and estates. All these efforts, the production that you see here today was a collaborative effort. And team members, I really want to say thank you for just showing up and putting your sneakers and just making sure that this is a beautiful event to be remembered. I'm sure everybody sitting here today can see that and witness that. You really, really deserve a round of applause. And as I hand back the baton to the program director, I want to really thank her for running with the program as meticulous as she did. We know that it's never easy standing before such a huge crowd, but you did exceptionally well, and we are grateful. Back to you.
We cannot end the event before listening to the CUT Gospel Choir. So before we close our session, I'm going to hand over to the CUT Gospel Choir.
Distinguished guests, I, at this moment, declare this CUT congregation officially dissolved. On behalf of the Central University of Technology Free State, I wish to thank chancellors, vice-chancellors, and the chair of South African universities, principals from TVET colleges, representatives of government, business and industry, our media partners, our staff, students and alumni, most importantly, our mass choir, which performed excellently at this inauguration. Thank you for your continued support of the university. As we close, I request the audience to please remain standing while the procession leaves the hall. Thank you. Let's go, Prof.
Listen to